Okay, my video explanation of what I'm doing. So this is a 2000s, well, the seatbelt says 2007, 2006, this is what, 2000, this model comes as I think a 2004 to 2007 or 2008, and then it switches. It's a Toyota Kluger, also known as a HighLander in the States. Probably not the type of car you find such a bumper on, but the owner wanted it to fit for when he goes into the bush. Not severe off-roading, but you know, just something that can take bumping into a tree here and there, and some clearance to climb a rock. He already swapped out the stock tires for these kind of dual sport tires, and I think these tires give the car maybe a 1-inch lift. He hasn't swapped out the shocks or put in a shock lift, but probably something he should do after all the weight comes onto the car. 2.4 liter 4-wheel drive, so I mean it's the same engine that goes into the newer Harrier, and that thing's a lot heavier than this. So I'm hoping with all these new attachments, because we're doing a front bumper, basically a side step, which also guards the skirts, and then the rear bumper is coming off, maybe going to start somewhere around here, or maybe an inch and a half below that, just to give some clearance in the back. That way when it is climbing up anything, it doesn't scrape. Probably going to have to move that exhaust a bit higher, and then once all that's done, it's going to get a roof rack with a roof tent. So that's going to be it's going to be a lot of weight. Just hope the engine doesn't bog down. So this is the bumper. I just got it welded up yesterday. That piece of round tubing is going to make a guard that goes over, let me do this, yeah, that's better. It's going to make a guard that goes over the top to guard the grille. He wants the lights exposed. We're not doing a guard for the lights, so I'm leaving that the way it is. So everything's pretty much welded up on the top. Today I'm doing the pipe for the grill guard. Once that's on, I take this thing off and then weld it up from the inside, because the metal was expected anyway, but as I welded all this pulled out a bit. This side didn't pull much, so that's good. There's not much I need. I just, but the plan is to do some welds on the inside, especially here, to pull it back in to counter this, because it's out maybe quarter of an inch, maybe just above. So just to pull that back in where this line is just underneath this quarter panel, and then this needs to be welded same as this side. Couldn't do it because I don't want to burn the lights, and the lights can't come off when the bumper is on, but I can weld this off the car, so that's fine. 15 mil plate, which acts as a toe point and is also, I don't know if you can see it there, it's also what it acts as a body mount to the car's frame. So 3 mil plate. I mean, I'm making it as rigid as possible, but putting into account if this car does get into a high-speed collision, I want this to bend and not all that to transfer to the frame, because it's a monocoque chassis, meaning if you bend the frame, the car is gone. I mean, you can straighten it out, but I don't think that would be wise. So the plan is to still look good, handle a few bumps, but high impact, this is what needs to go, not the frame. So trying to put that into consideration. Right now, okay, you can't really see it, but right now it bolts there, so it has 3 bolt points. I'm missing 1 bolt. I need to get longer bolts. It was the only space on the frame that had original mounting points. There was actually a small piece, there was an aluminium bar running across that's supposed to act as a basically I guess a bash guard of sorts that goes on the inside of the plastic bumper. So I took that off, and that's where this is mounted to. However, I would like to find, it really doesn't have any provisions, so I'm going to, put a reinforcement here, because I would like this to bolt as well. Just, I mean, it doesn't shift much, but I can feel it move a little bit, so I would like to get this bolted up to the side as well, so that it doesn't flex. I am going to put some gussets on the inside. That way it's quite stiff. Again, I want it stiff, but not too stiff where it doesn't flex in the case of a crash. I don't want that force getting transferred to the frame. So yeah, I'm just about done with the front. Once all the welding is done and that pipe is on, I have this skid plate here, that 2mm, nothing heavy, again trying to keep the weight down as much as possible. So all those holes are honestly vent holes, but also just to cut down weight. That is for the oil filter, that's for the oil drain, this is for draining the gearbox oil. That way this thing doesn't have to come out whenever they want to do a service. It can stay in, because it's not going to be super hard to get it out, but it's not going to be easy either. And then I managed to get my logo CNC cut, so that's cool. Yeah, so that's what's going on. So that skid plate will go right under here. It will bolt onto the main bumper from here, and then there's a threaded hole over there. It'll bolt there, and then I'll probably bolt it to there as well. And then from the back, it has no provisions in the back, so I need to figure out how to mount it in the back. It's just to keep the underside, safe from rocks or anything, because as you can see, that was already dinged at one point. So the goal is to protect the engine, because even the exhaust is scraping on certain grounds. So I think a 1 or maximum 2-inch lift on the suspension probably be wise if he wants to take it off-road. But we'll see. When everything is on, we'll see how the plan is to actually, when the bumper is off and the car is sitting straight, the plan is to kind of see how much gap we have between the wheel well, the top of the wheel well, and the tire, and then both front and back. And when everything is finally on, measure again and see how much the car has sunk, and then counter that with a lift kit. And honestly, if he plans on keeping the car forever or for a really long time, maybe when he gets some more cash, definitely advise to put maybe just stronger suspension, so that the car doesn't sit so low. And I doubt the suspension is built to go off-road. And yeah, oh wow, 8-minute video. So the only other thing that this will have is, once I'm done with everything else, all the welding's done, all this is done, I will cut out a pocket here for spotlights. There's some nice round LED spotlights. Just make a nice perfect circle, well, maybe square or circle, I'll see, and mount the spotlights in there. That way, he has some nice bright bumper lights, and in future, if he wants, he can always put another bar light onto that pipe to sit right there. Yeah, so yeah, that's what's going on. So I shall take some more photos, maybe record another video once I get that pipe on to guard the grill, and maybe when this bumper is off as well, I'll do some recording to explain how the gussets will sit. I also want to figure out how I'm actually going to make these gussets, because I want them to be functional, not just pretty. So yeah.